everybody, and welcome back to Fugits Blitz, and it's the end of the week, which is great, but it also means it's time for Friends of Fugits replays of the week. This is where you, other players, send your replays to me, and you will be immortalized, or not, because my channel hasn't got that many subscribers, on the Tinternet. Now, I actually love putting these type of videos together, replays of other players, for two reasons. Firstly, I'm actually rather lazy, and it means I don't have to do much work. All I need to do is trim the clips, lob them together, and do some talking over the top. You guys do all the work. You play all the games. These are your replays, not mine. And secondly, and more importantly, it's not my replays. They're your replays. This is a chance for you to show other players how you play the game. And maybe people will get some tips from what you do. It's great watching all the CCs, who are really good at the game, by the way, show you how to play these tanks properly. And believe me, they really do show you how to play the tanks properly. But it's like when I was learning to play golf. I decided to pick up a Phil Mickelson video, and guess what? I'm not Phil Mickelson. I learned some tips, but I'm never going to be able to play the game like Phil Mickelson. It's as simple as that. So whilst I love watching the CC videos, and boy, I do watch them all the time, I know my limitations, and I know I'll never be as good as players like Rolling Swarm from Legion, but they do give great tips. So, the idea behind this channel was to get the tips from you guys, the guys who play it day in, day out, because I don't know everything, and a lot of the players out there don't know everything, and I'll never be able to play it like I said, like Rolling Swarm or Super Snitzel Koenig from Rad. It just won't happen because I just don't have their talent. I don't have their reflexes or ability to play the game to the extent that they do, regardless of how many times I practice. But whilst I agree practice does make you better, we have to remember, in this game it's random. You are placed with another random 6 players. You can't say that the team is going to be good or bad. And a lot of the time, you may not be able to carry that team, regardless of how good you are. So the idea of my channel was not to show you perfect games, or was to show you how players play the game. Now, some of these players are really good. Some of them are average. I mean, I'm average. But that doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter if you're new, if you're not very good, if you're average, or if you're very good. There are still things out there that you can pick up, and that was the whole idea of my channel. It was open to everybody. It was never just going to show perfect games or how the perfect player plays. Anyway, kind of waffling a bit, so let's get back to what I'm meant to be getting back to, which is your replays. Now, this is a good friend of mine, Valerian Tiger from 5FF, which is part of the FTC clan family, and I'm FTC 1 clan. He's gone out in the Chinese tank destroyer at tier 8, the WZ-120-1-FT, which is clearly a name that just rolls off the tongue. Maybe. So Valerian Tiger's taken this tank out. Now, this is a tank I don't actually have in my garage, funnily enough, because the Chinese tech tree is just a long grind for me, and I don't find it that interesting. But after watching this replay, you know what? I think this is a tank I really should invest in, because the way Valerian Tiger handles this little TD is really impressive. I mean, here he is, he's capping the base. He's just hanging around the base, which is a really good move and quite a good strategy on his part. And look at that. I mean, he's already taken out 2 tanks. He's done 1,700 damage, and not a single person's put a single shot into him. It's just really funky little tank. Obviously, his gameplay is really pretty funky as well, and pretty good. But not knowing the tank, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's aggressive or not aggressive, but it's a TD. Since when have TDs been that aggressive? But he's picking his targets really well, and you know, he's really piling on the damage out there. And it seems to me that this thing is a damage monster. It really is. I mean, watch how he handles this tank against this Jag 88. It's amazing. I mean, he just whacks it straight through the front. He's just getting high alpha rolls all the time, and it's just really great to watch. I mean, he's done the entire game, not a single scratch. He hasn't even broken into a sweat. I mean, he's gone back to the garage, he's got 4 kills, he's got a 3rd class mastery, he's done 2,670 damage, and the paintwork is still intact, which, trust me, is no easy feat to achieve in a tier 8 TD. I mean, all I can say is, wow, Valerian Tiger, just wow. And I'd like to thank Valerian Tiger for sending that clip over to us. It's a pleasure to watch. Next up, we have Skylark Dax, who was previously in the S2S clan, but he's now in the BA_A_ clan. This is my first Asian server contributor, and I'd like to thank Skylark Dax for allowing me to post this video, to be honest with you, because it's always nice when you get somebody send you a replay from a different server, and I'm waiting for the Russian server and the American server to send me theirs across. Anyway, Skylark Dax has gone out in the Tankenstein. Well, I guess there's going to be a few of these now. Now, I had the Tankenstein when it first came out, long time ago. And I've got to be completely honest with you, hand on heart, I loathe this tank. Okay, it's got a derpy-ish gun with real top damage. I mean, it's close to 500 on a top alpha roll. But that's the only thing going for it. I mean, the armor is not that great. I mean, you've seen there, it's been penned easily. It's slow, it's cumbersome, the reload takes forever and a day. It looks mean, yes it does. It looks meaty, yes it does. And it's got flames coming out of its arse, which is always a benefit. But boy, is it ugly. I mean, okay, it's meant to be, because it's meant to be based on Frankenstein. I get that, I understand that, and it's an Halloween event tank, and all that sort of jazz. But really, I mean, I haven't got a lot of good things to say about this tank, which is probably unfair, because in the right hands, in people who do love it, it's probably a really good tank. I'm just not one of those people, I'm afraid. Yeah, but that's just my opinion, and, you know, my channel's not about my opinion. It's not meant to be an opinionated channel. There are clearly people out there who love this little tank, but it's not so little, to be honest. And there are, you know, and Skylark Dax is obviously one of those people who likes rolling out in it, because he's taking it for a spin. So I have to be objective, and I have to be mindful of the fact that we're not all the same. Some people like certain tanks and some people don't. I happen to fall into the category where I don't like the Tankenstein, and I love, for example, the Tiger too. But then again, who doesn't? So back to Skylark Dax in his Tankenstein. So he's done just under 1,000 damage, he's got a kill, and he's still on the hunt. Oh, look at that, there's an IS, he's on minor hit points. Should be an easy one for the Tankenstein to get around. Oh, but, you know, IS is maneuvering away, not good enough. That's a really good shot, actually. Not scoping in, oversight, with rocks in front of you. That is not the easiest shot to make in this game, and certainly not the easiest shot to make in this tank. Full credit there to Skylark Dax for knocking that one out, because that really is a tough shot to make, believe me. So here we are, the Tankenstein is rumbling up this hill at a very slow pace, because, you know, it's not a quick tank. T29, oh no, he thought about it and then thought, maybe not, because even with this gun, I mean, the pen isn't the best, but if it was, it would be ultra OP, because the damage it knocks out is massive. Oh my life! That is an impossible, really difficult shot, and he's ammo racked to T150. Oh my god! No wonder Skylark Dax is having a laugh there. I mean, that is a crazy shot. The last two shots he's made are over open sights. Crazy, and oh, he's ammo racked another one, and there goes the T29. 2 ammo racks in the last 2 shots. I mean, that's just spectacular. I mean, what a great little game. He gets a 3rd class for his troubles, 1,700 damage, but hey, 2 ammo racks in quick succession. What more could you ask for? And I'd like to thank Skylark Dax for sending that across, and for being my first Asian server replay player. Thank you very much. So moving on, this is my good friend Harrier77 of NX6, who is a regular to my replays. I mean, he just sends me some amazing stuff, and he's rolling out in the KV2 Menacing, a tank that a lot of people love if you're in it and you've got it, and everybody hates if it's on the other team, let's be honest. And in the right hands, boy, is this tank a monster. It really is. And unfortunately, a lot of people have those right hands, they really do. And if you play this tank correctly, yes, it is OP, but it's OP for all the right reasons, not the wrong ones. I mean, don't forget, this is a real life tank. This thing did actually exist. I mean, it's artillery on wheels, basically. It's a bunker buster inside a massive tin of baked beans stuck on top of a KV-1 chassis. I mean, it's a crazy, crazy tank. And the Germans, by the way, loved it in World War II. They couldn't capture enough of them. As you can see here, Harrier 77 has done what most people who play the KV-2 and know how to play the KV-2 has done. He's loaded HE. He's not loaded anything other than HE. And he's got that HE shell in the tube ready to go. It's as simple as that. Because when you drive this thing, why wouldn't you load HE? Really? I mean, okay, at this tier, to wipe a single tank out with a single shell is awesome. And that's not even taking into account the giggle factor of this tank. I mean, it's just unbelievably good fun. It really is. And I challenge anybody who can turn around to me and say they do not feel good after playing this tank and wiping somebody out with one shot. I really do. Okay, it can be frustrating because, yeah, everybody can pen you realistically. But that one shot just makes up for all of it. Now, it looks like he was tempted with the R44, but hey, there's a KV-2. Oh my god, let's just wipe out another KV-2 in one shot. I mean, I'm not even playing the tank, and I just find that hilarious. Obviously, the guy in the KV-2 who's just been wiped out doesn't find it hilarious, and is probably cursing Area 77 to high heaven around now. That's normal. It happens. What about this KV-2? Shall we do here? Oh, Harrier gets him again. Oh my god. 2 KV-2s gone in 2 shots. He's done 2 shots and he's already got almost 2,000 damage. I mean, even if he dies now, I bet you he dies with a grin on his face. And he would go back to the garage and he would still be smiling after those 2 kills. And let's just take out the R44 anyway. Now you've got to wait for the reload. But you have such a long reload on this thing because you need it to get over the amount of giggling that you're doing after wiping out 3 tanks with just 3 shells. It's just crazy. I mean, he's on 1900 damage from 3 shells. He's only fired 3 shells. 3 shells, 3 kills. Wow. Now that is efficient. I really is. And the other thing about this tank, you can't underestimate the giggle factor. You really can't. I mean, if there was a giggle rating, this tank would be way up there. Oh, and just take out a 4th tank with our 4th shot. 2,300 damage, 4 kills, 4 shots fired. I mean, wow. You've got to say, the efficiency of this tank is unbelievably great. And again, I'd love to thank Harrier 77 of NX6 for sharing his replays with us again. I mean, every single replay he shows just has me in awe. Now, this is the last game. This is Jonty 2014 of the AMRS clan, another guy who regularly sends me replays, good friend of mine, and he's gone out in the Tiger 1, which is a tank I absolutely adore. I really do. And I really like the camouflage that he's chosen. I've never picked that camouflage, but I think it's quite fetching in this tank. It looks really cool. Anyway, I love the Tiger 1. I mean, the Tiger 1 is one of my all-time top favourite tanks. There's just something about this tank. It's not just the historical fact about it. I just love this tank. I mean, I just think it's a pleasurable tank to look at. I think it's a beautiful tank. It looks like a tank. It really does. And there's just something about this tank. It's just an amazing tank. And when I first got it, long time ago, and this was my first aim to get this tank, and I've loved it ever since. And I challenge anybody to say that they don't love this tank, because deep down, we all do. Anyway, Jonty 2014, really good player, and he's sent me some amazing replays, and I've picked this one out because this is how you play a Tiger 1, in my opinion. It really is. The way that Jonty 2014 drives this Tiger 1 around this battlefield is just like watching a ballerina at Do Swan Lake. It's just perfection. Well, I think it is anyway. I mean, he's getting into a great position here, Tiger 1 on Tiger 1, and he's just raining AP into this guy until he's gone. That's just it. Okay, Jonty didn't get the kill, but wow. And now he's saved his supercharge. And look, there's an ISU with his back, and he gets a massive roll, 275. Oh, there's a Gravedigger. Now, who doesn't like going against Gravediggers? Clearly, Jonty loves going against Gravediggers because he doesn't waste much time in wasting him. Now there's an SU-152. Jonty can angle the tank, because you can angle the Tiger one. Really, it's really good to bounce. Look at him jostle this tank, getting into a position and rolling a top roll into the front of that SU. I mean, this is how you play a Tiger 1, guys. And, you know, he's already capped the first base. Now he's going to cap C. This is realistically how this tank should be played. It's an aggressive game style, I agree. But the Tiger 1 is an aggressive tank. And don't forget, he's bottom tier tank in this game. He's not at the top of the tier. So strictly speaking, he is sort of outgunned or out-armored. But he hasn't even phased him. He is run around this battlefield and he's just dished out all the damage he can dish. Now look at this Indian Panzer. He hasn't got a hope in house chance. He gets one up the back from Jonty's Tiger 1, but then Jonty completely ignores him and goes for the ISU 152. I mean, the Indian Panzer must be thinking, I dodged a bullet there because this guy could have come in. But he's a two-shot, and Jonty knows that. So why bother when you can take out other tanks? Okay, he gets a bit unlucky there because the T-49 gets a high roll into him, but he gets an high roll back into the T-49. I mean, 275 damage into a tank is really good. Now the Indian Panzer really is in trouble. He gets a shot on Jonty, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, that's how you play this tank, guys. You pick your targets and you use the tank to the maximum effect. Okay, it was an aggressive gameplay, but in the right hands, you can be aggressive in this tank, as Jonty has just proved. And look at this, Mastery Award for it, a shed load of ribbons, 2,522 damage, bottom tier tank, top tier damage machine. That is how you play this tank. And I really want to thank Jonty for sending that replay over to me. I mean, yet again, another one of his replays, absolute pleasure to watch. Now I'm going to leave you some massive kills. That's Rob King Alpha destroying an AMX CDC on the Mad Games circuit. Now I can't thank enough the players who sent me their replays in that feature this week, which is Rob King Alpha, Valerian Tiger, Harrier 77, Skylark Dax, and Jonty 2014. And God, who really does not get bored with watching a KV2 destroy another KV2 in one shot? I know I never will. Guys, I always say this, these replays keep my channel alive, to be perfectly honest with you, because there is nothing more pleasurable than showing the people out there your replays. It's boring just watching my replays all the time. It's great to watch your guys' replays. So really, if you want your replays to be shown, okay, I don't have all the subscribers that the regular CCs have, but that's not the point, is it? I mean, if you want your replays shown, send them to me, fugitsblitz@gmail.com, and believe me, they will be shown. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but they will be shown. And I've promised that since day one, that anybody who sends me a replay, eventually it will be shown. Like I said, it may not be immediately, but it will be shown. Now let's look at those replays again. I mean, that is one hell of a shot. It really, really is. I mean, that shot is unbelievably difficult. And boy, you've got to have some big marbles on you to pull off, to even attempt a shot like that. So fair play to Skylark Dax, because nobody will ever get fed up with watching tanks being ammo racked. They just won't. I know I don't. Guys, as per usual, it's been a pleasure showing other people's replays. And until the next time, stay safe out there, have fun on the battlefield, and happy tanking. Hey, I've been Fugit and you've been great. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it. And I'd love if you would press subscribe. Who knows, we can do some more. By all means, drop me comments, tell me what can be improved, and tell me what you'd like to see. I really love to know. Anyway, until the next time, guys, happy tanking.